optimizing investment opportunities for national development. The keynote address was on prospects, challenges of investing in startups in emergent economies. No doubt, it is possible, and we will see a better, greater, richer, prosperous country, Nigeria, as we put our hands together to make this work. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you again, Dr. Chris Brooks. And now, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to wrap up this session, we will be calling up our executive governors who are here for special remark. First on the list, I want to invite His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ekiti State, is represented by the Special Advisor, Budget and Planning. Please welcome from Ekiti State, Mr. Oyeniyi Adebayo, for a special remark.
Thank you, sir. You've thus far done a great job. Can we please give it up for our MC? I think he has done wonderfully well thus far. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, Your Excellency, Distinguished Honorable Dabiri Erewa, our Mama Diaspora, the convener of today's event, I greet you, ma. Please permit me to stand on all already established protocol. This message is on behalf of my governor, the executive governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Abiodun Abayomi Oyebanje. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I bring greetings from my governor, who cannot be here today due to exacting schedule conflicts, and he sends his deep apologies. I am delighted and honored to be here to deliver this message on his behalf. This message may be short, but the goodwill behind it is long and massive, owing to the historical and long-term relationship between our two states. That's Ekiti and Ondo states. Permit me to commend the chairman and the CEO of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Distinguished Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, OON, under whose leadership this series, which is in its 5th edition, has been sustained. The importance of Nigerians in diaspora in terms of investment and overall contribution to the Nigerian economy has been well established and discussed by previous speakers. So in order not to repeat what has been said, I would like to focus on the investment opportunities in Ondo State, in particular the Ondo Seaport. I would like to congratulate the Governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SAN-CON, for the initiative for Ondo State to work with NITCOM Energy, amongst others. Thus, Ondo Port is expected to play a role of utmost importance and contribute significantly to the development of the economy of Ondo and neighboring states such as Ekiti State. As most of us here know, or at least if not all of us, what is now referred to as Ekiti State was part of Ondo Province in western Nigeria. Ondo Province will later become Ondo State in 1976. And of course, 20 years down the line, Ekiti State was carved out of Ondo State precisely on 1st October 1996. So we have a long history together, and we believe we will continue to be partners in progress. So our state and Ondo State will continue to work together in areas where we have common interest. And we believe we're closer to each other economically and culturally than the other 34 states. So to us, the importance of this proposed port become even more exacting when we consider the fact that Ekiti State is well. The aspect of the Oyebanji government's administration, which is new, is to look at improvement in agriculture and also putting in place industrial policy, which is to encourage agro-allied production and also processing post-farm gate, and also ensure that there is indeed value addition to agricultural produce before they are sold, so that we can maximize the benefits to our people. So our belief is that the establishment of a port in Ondo will further complement this initiative and help to realize some of the things we're trying to drive, even in this administration. The distance from Ado-Ekiti, for example, to Tinkan Port in Lagos is about 330 kilometers. From Ado-Ekiti to the proposed site of the port is about 180, 190 kilometers. So you can see, even in terms of the distance and what that implies for cost of production and efficiency, and of course, time to market, and of course, cash flow cycle, and of course, turnaround time in terms of production processes. You can see that this will enhance the ability of our people to be competitive and also help them achieve economies of scale and efficiencies. And that is why we feel this is actually very timely for both our two states. And of course, the Ondo port will further encourage the establishment of new businesses, because when you have a new port, there will be value chains, and some businesses that hitherto were not in existence will become necessary, and of course entrepreneurs will move into stepping into the gap. So we believe that this will lead to job creation. We believe this will lead to job creation for our two states, acquisition of new skills, and increased internally generated revenue, and so on. So we join our voice, and a big one at that, with Ondo State in urging the federal government to provide all necessary support, including all requisite approvals. Thank you. All requisite approvals that would enable actualize this very important and potentially impactful infrastructure project. We would also like to recommend this project for consideration to the Nigerian diaspora and other investor groups and individuals, and to ultimately for them to invest in the port. I'm certain that if this port was approved, the celebration in the Ekiti State will be as rapturous, if not louder, than in Ondo State, because this is as close. Thank you. As you know, this is as close, given that I said we are landlocked, it's as close to us having our own port. So Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I look forward to robust discussions and recommendations that will proceed during the course of this summit, let me use this opportunity to inform you that the Ekiti State government is ready for business, and indeed we're working to enhance the enabling environment for businesses in Ekiti. And of course, with our beautiful topography, the security in the state, tranquility, and investor-friendly policies, Ekiti is surely one of the best places to live, work, and invest. So I would also like to invite you guys to come over to Ekiti and see what we have to offer. Maybe in future, next year or 2 years to come, we might actually be playing the role Ondo State is playing here today. And that I will take to Mr. Governor for consideration. So thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure speaking to you all. I appreciate you for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. From the land of honor and integrity, Ekiti State, a round of applause for Mr. Oyeniyi Adebayo. Thank you very much. And now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunshine State, our bride state for this occasion. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ondo State, is ably represented by the very distinguished Deputy Governor. Please welcome, with a round of applause, Honorable Lucky Misan Ayedatewa, as he comes up to speak to us. Your Excellency.
Thank you, Mr. MC, even though you almost more than my middle name. It is called Orimison. My head is good. Direct translation. That means I'm favored. I know in this hall we have two categories of persons, which always happen in most meetings anyway. His Excellencies and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. So, His Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, kindly permit me to adopt the long protocol that had earlier been established by both the MC and our chief host for today's event. So wonderfully done by the chief host. I'm talking about Honorable Dr. Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, to the extent that she almost mentioned the names of everyone in this hall. And I'm not surprised because this is what she's been doing, the 5th edition. And it also shows that she has very strong interpersonal relationship with people, that just looking at the hall from this distance, she could identify them and mention them by names and organizations. Thank you very much for a job well done. So kindly permit me to adopt that long protocol that you established, but not without mentioning a few names. His Excellency, the Governor of Ekiti State, ably represented by the Special Advisor, Budget and Planning, Mr. Oyeni Adebayo, I recognize you. His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India, His Excellency Sri Balasubramania. I tried, eh? I recognize you as well. Our chief host, the Chairman, CEO, NITCOM, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Abike Dabiri. Let me also acknowledge my brother, DG African Development Bank, Mr. Lemamboro. The other time we met in Ondo State. Thank you for coming and for that wonderful position that you presented earlier. Our KBAC, representing all the royal fathers, His Royal Majesty Oba Yusuf Adebore Adeleye, the Lubaka Foka, KBAC, Moshebori Adeo. All the earlier speakers, particularly the keynote speaker, my brother, Dr. Chris Brook, you are welcome home. Thank you for coming and for that wonderful exposition that a lot of our youth should listen to, especially those who still want to jumpa. They should know that this is where it's happening. They should stay back. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all the PAMSECs that are here, those who are still going to speak, those facilitators, and members of Ondo State Executive Council, the whole of the state is here. I welcome every one of us to this great occasion. On behalf of the Governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odun-Ayakeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who is unavoidably absent, I bring you warm greetings from him for everyone that is here, except those from Ondo State, because I'm greeting every one of our members of the audience on our behalf. So on his behalf, it is my pleasure to be here at the 5th Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit, holding today in the capital city of our great nation, Abuja. I bring warm greetings and wishes from the governor himself and the good people of our dear state to everyone here. Let me, at this point, recognize specially, even though I've acknowledged his presence, the governor of Ekiti State. I want to thank you for that wonderful case that you made for us. We are sister states. You've said it all. Nothing to add, nothing to deduct. Thank you very much. You actually made my job easier. I will not try to repeat all that you have said, but thank you so much. Also, member of the state assemblies that are here and National Assembly members, I want to welcome you. I want to thank you for being here. Let me especially also congratulate and thank the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri-Erewa, for the successful hosting of this 5th Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit in collaboration with Ondo State Government. Thank you for giving us this platform. I applaud your commitment and visionary leadership, which has contributed to the balanced scorecards of all Progressive Congress, APC, our party, administration at the national level, under the able leadership of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. So on behalf of the good people of Ondo State, I wish to appreciate most sincerely the ingenuity of the federal government as well as NIDCOM for choosing to establish a desk office of the Commission in Ondo State. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is on this strength that I wish to state that Ondo State will provide all it requires for the office to function optimally. Let me say here at this time that proud to now, Ondo State has always been a predominantly public servant state. But today, we are changing the narratives due to our relentless efforts and commitment to promoting and opening Ondo State for business and investments. We have recorded commendable development in manufacturing, creation of innovation hubs, engendering private-public partnerships, and promoting agriculture as a business. Our administration has quadrupled the state's internally generated revenue. Clusters of investment in the state have provided jobs for our youth, and we have continued to transform the local economy of our state. According to a survey by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, Ondo State now ranked 8th among subnationals in Nigeria in ease of doing business. Globally, the Nigerians in the diaspora are emerging as potent forces in knowledge economy, trade, and investment. You heard all of that from Dr. Chris Brooks. There is no doubt that this trend will continue, and Nigerians in diaspora will not stop being an important political, cultural, social, and economic force in the country now and in the future. Therefore, we want to seize the opportunity of this summit to position Ondo State as the most desirable investment destination among the top 3 states in Nigeria in terms of accelerated growth, improved quality of life, and for its citizenry. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the big deal for me and for us in Ondo State is the Ondo Deep Sea Port. It's a big deal for us because we know, just like my brother governor, as represented by his special advisor on budget and economic planning, said, he made a very good case, and I'm not going to repeat all that he has said. The importance of that deep sea port cannot be overemphasized. It's a known fact that no West Africa country has multi-temperature controlled cold storage to accommodate products at their required temperature and refrigerated docks. The competitive advantages of the proposed Ondo Deep Sea Port are in the area of dry and cold storage facilities, world-class warehousing infrastructure, and management system to handle full container load FCL, less than container loads LCL, full truck loads FTL, and less than truck loads LTL. These will drive agribusiness, promote the creation of allied businesses like packaging along the port corridor, and improved foreign exchange for Nigeria. As a necessary corollary, more jobs will be created in Ondo State and a consequent improvement in the state's internally generated revenue. This summit is an assembly of big league investors and economic gurus, and I'm calling on you to invest in our country, help us develop our dear state, Sunshine State. Because when you say you want to develop Nigeria, you want economic growth for Nigeria, Abuja is not Nigeria. Nigeria comprises of all the subnationals, the sovereign states. It's only the aggregate of the development in all of these states that can come together to say Nigeria has developed. So come to Ondo State, let's develop the subnationals. We want you, we want your investments. Make Ondo State your investment destination. Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency, ONDIPA, is our one-stop shop investment office and is here to answer all your questions and attend to your needs. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of the good people of Ondo State, I wish to thank you all for your support and cooperation for bringing this event into reality. We are working hard, and we hope that our dream for the establishment of Ondo Deep Sea Port will come into reality with your support. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Honorable Lucky Orimisan. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the close of this plenary session. And just before we conclude this, quickly, a quick recognition. Please be seated for a moment. A quick recognition of Mr. Babatunde Faleke. Thank you very much for joining us. We have the Permanent Secretary, Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, Mr. Olushade Adeshola. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be going for tea break, but as we go, we will have the opportunity to have our chief host lead our dignitaries for a guided tour of the exhibition booths. This was done yesterday, but will be. We also want to quickly recognize the Niger, Ambassador Republic of Niger, who is also here with us. Your Excellency, thank you very much, sir. We thank you, His Excellency Sam Alet Mogaskia. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be going for a guided tour very shortly, but before we do that guided tour, I want to invite Kabiesi Olubaka of Oka, Oba Yusuf Adebori Adeleye OON, to give a blessing to this gathering just before we proceed. I will be taking the microphone to Kabiesi to give a royal blessing to the gathering before we proceed, guided by our chief host. Kabiesi.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We thank the Almighty Allah for making it possible for all of us to be here. I remember as at the time the date was set, it was a mere proposal. But Almighty Allah has granted all of us the blessings, the mercy to be here. So with all glory goes back to Him. On this, we say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi azim. Amen.
Thank you very much. And now, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabirewa OON will lead dignitaries to a guided tour of the exhibition booths. Excellencies are invited to join our chief host as she leads for this guided tour. Participants are invited for tea break. We'll be right back after tea break for the next very important session. Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you again. Excellencies will be guided by the chief host for this tour of the booths. We'll also see some of the teachers who have worked very hard. I will particularly see what Ondo State is doing. Ondo State is #1 in the booths. Ondo State is #1, and we'll be able to see what's going on there. Our chief host will lead excellencies for this guided tour. Participants are invited to go for the tea break, and we will, after the tea break, return for the next special session where we will be hearing a lot of what's happening in Ondo State. Check. Okay, let me try. Check. Yeah, they said it wasn't set. It worked yesterday, but it wasn't set for today. Check. We're taking a look at the booths, and And we'll be seeing all the booths one after the other. On Dipa, that's the very first one where Ondo State takes the lead. The cameraman should please join us quickly. We are in the very first booth, Ondo State, on Dipa.
All right, everybody. Good afternoon, and thanks for your patience. And as you're very well aware, this project is being partnered by Ondo State government. So right now, we're at the Ondo State exhibition. So we want to hear everything about what's going on, how we're going to develop Ondo 2.0, starting with Ondipa. So here we go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and let me welcome you to the Ondo State stand at the 5th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit. What we are trying to achieve in Ondo State, which by God's grace and the grace of the Executive Governor of Ondo State, is to create another economic hub for Nigeria to prosper. We believe that from Ondo State, we can launch a new order of economic development for the rest of Nigeria, and that is why we are here to showcase some of the things that we have in Ondo State, starting from the mineral resources, as shown here. But beyond that, the agricultural fertile land that we've got as well are places where we can grow new produce and process this to things that can be exported beyond just the consumption that we have locally. In addition to that, we are creating economic zones for industries to come in and establish, process these raw materials, and make use of them to create new order of businesses for Nigeria and for the rest of the world. And in addition to that, we are talking about the port of Ondo Deep Sea Port. We have said it repeatedly. Let Lagos Port serve Lagos. The port of Ondo will serve Nigeria.
Excuse me, sir.
We are well positioned. Well positioned for bulk materials, for bulk minerals coming from the north, straight down to the port of Ondo, to the rest of the world, and imports coming into through the port of Ondo, serving the rest of Nigeria, east, west, and to the north. And ONDIPA, which is the Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency, remains the point of contact for everything you need to do in Ondo State, and will be there to welcome you. And as well, just as they say, all work and no play make Jack a dog boy, we have in Ondo State lots of tourist attraction, a fantastic Hararomi beach for you to come and develop, rest, Idori Hills, sight and sound of different places across the entire state, such that after you have resided in Ondo State, you have developed your business in Ondo State, you have worked, you also have places where you can go and chill out, relax, and enjoy the sight and sound of Ondo State along with the pounded yam. Everything without you leaving the state. This is what we are saying. And as you are aware, security is one of the things that we have promoted very well in the state. We are in Niger Delta State, a very peaceful one for that matter, and Amotekun will make sure that your stay in Ondo State is as enjoyable, peaceful, secured, in such a way that you not worry, and you help us invite other people to come and taste and enjoy and badun Ondo State. Thank you so much for coming.
So you heard it, everybody. You need somewhere to come to relax. Come to Ondo State.
Come and test and badun.
Just to say we're not taking
Ondo
business
State.
away from Lagos people. We're complementing it. So yeah, we're complementing Lagos. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ondo State, and we really, really appreciate the support. Thanks a lot. So we move on.
Thank you very much. That's Ondo State. Come taste and badun Ondo State. We move on to the next.
Oh, this is CAC. Oh,
And
CAC.
here now we
Talk
have
about investing
NIDCAM.
in Nigeria. You got to come open your businesses in Nigeria, and what better agency to do that besides the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria. So this is CAC, one of our standing partners. Thank you.
Good morning, all. My name is... Good morning, sir. sure it's talking. Hello. Hello. Good. Oh, okay. Good morning, sirs. Good morning, ma. Welcome to Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Jomai Usman Musa. With me is Zainab Aliyu and Habu Bala. These are our services. We run our 24-hour services. You can come to CAC, register your company under 24 hours. You can go online, go to our website, www.cac.gov.ng. You can register your services, and we are here to any complaint, give reports, if you have any complaints, any inquiry, if there's anything you need to know about registration of company, we are here to assist you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So come and make sure your business is legally registered.
Next, we move to Kudi Mata.
This is
If they pain you, talk.
All right, this is one of the projects that pitched at NDIS yesterday. We're very, very passionate about what she has to say. We need everyone to listen to her, hear what she's advocating for, and let's pledge our support. So there you go.
Like I would say, Kudi Mata, if they pay new talk. Kudi Mata is a financial community built to bridge the financial gap between financial service providers and individuals. It is clear that basic financial education is lacked. So what we hear people promote is financial inclusion, but without financial literacy or basic financial education, financial inclusion would not go anywhere. It is clear that even mama in the market, after you talk to mama in the market, mama has an account. Mama may not know necessarily what to do. Mama needs to be educated. That even still goes for all of us here. We all touch money, we all use money, but basic financial education is lacked. Sometimes we don't even know what to do with the money, or we want to even borrow, want to do things. So on Kudi Mata, we have professionals who are available to and hold you through your financial journey to ensure that when you touch money, when you see money, your money actually works for you. Education, basic financial education is key, not only for us, for our children, for Nigeria as a whole. But because without basic financial education, we can actually truly go nowhere. So that's what the platform is for. It's interactive, it is easy to use, and it is on Android and Play Store. It is hybrid. So for the mama in the market, we can actually interact with mama in the market physically. And as you grow up the ladder to the HNI on the digital platform, you can interact. So that's what Kudi Mata is for.
All right.
Next is Royal School of Education Therapy Foundation.
This is my project. So I'm
1
going
minute
to,
each, 60
I
seconds.
want everybody's attention when I talk about my project. All right. All right.
Kudi Mata, they pain you, talk.
Interest in taking pictures. Kudi Mata. All right. Thank you. Thank you. As we progress, that's enough.
Next is Royal School of Education Therapy Foundation.
Okay. Welcome to my stand. This is my project. It's my foundation, Royal School of Education and Therapy Foundation. It's a non-profit that I set up to provide services, therapeutic services for persons of all ages with developmental, provide them with life skills. Because these are children that are hidden away at home by parents because of their disabilities. But once we prove to them that these children can actually learn something and be productive members of society, then they give us the power and the trust to teach their children. So we provide them with vocational skills as well. Some of our students have graduated to now be actually working. One of them is a YouTube star now. Another one is working for a television station, broadcasting. This is a boy who had no language initially. Another one is a star student, winning awards at a regular school. So we've been very, very successful. We want to continue to do this. We're coming to Ekiti State next. So thank you.
And we're looking at stem cells.
Godwin Uzoma Foundation is next.
Yeah. All right. Okay, now to also buttress what I'm saying, a lot of us in the committee, we are all looking at how we can impact Nigeria, giving back in our own usual ways, based on our own passion and professionalism. So Ms. Zironkwe is one of the committee members. She also has another nonprofit, so she'll tell us what they do.
Good morning, everyone. So this is God Inuzo Mariamkwe Foundation. What we're focused on and passionate about is promoting reading, learning and information sharing among children, like pupils in elementary schools and then young people. So we expose them to reading activities, arts and crafts activities, music, reading competitions, and we take them on excursions to create awareness and expose them. We also offer scholarships, provide them with school supplies, and just to make them have, a better self-esteem, awareness, exposure, and of course also imbibing that reading culture into them. So that's what we do. And then today we have a mini shop. Whatever is bought from here, 10% of the amount goes to the foundation. So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Rockwell. That's the donation box. So, yeah. Who should I give this to for His Excellency? All right. Who should I give this to for my governor's Ekiti State? Okay, all right. Thank you. And for my chairman. I've given His Excellency. Okay, yeah. Kabiesi, for Kabiesi. Kabiesi, sir. Okay. Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. Kabiesi. Who should I give? Thank you, sir. All right. So we're moving on to another one of our
Next is the U.S.
companies.
Africa Chamber of Commerce.
So very, very briefly, please tell us about what you are doing.
U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce is bringing financial and technical partners in mining infrastructure, agriculture, value chain enhancement, data aggregation, and mining, e.g. Daniola Corporation, Polkan Eye Technology Limited, Lepidico of Australia, Strategic Surveillance Drone. U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce also help people to bring investors from countries. We have investors from some countries like Australian investors that want to invest in lithium in Nigeria and anywhere in Africa. We help people to bring them investors that can partner with them to bring equipment. People that have capacity to operate adequately in the mining industry. Because in Nigeria, mining in Nigeria, if you don't have capacity, you can't do anything. Yeah. And also we are together, is part of the U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce. Is a platform that registered some local buying centers to help them to sell their product online. Industrial mineral, gemstones, diamond, everything. Then Polkan Eye Technology Limited is registered in Nigeria. We register with the U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce. We have all these minerals: iron ore, tungsten, copper. This is lithium. This is roscos. This is tin cassiterite, amethyst. Yeah, and also we have collaboration with Bauchi State Government. We are advertising Bauchi State Mineral Resources. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But they're bringing investors. So they'll bring investors to Ondo State. Okay, this is Urban Shelter, one of our partnering, sponsoring companies. So very, very, very briefly.
Okay. Okay, Urban Shelter is one of the top real estate firms in Nigeria. We've been here for over 30 years. We sell real estate and already built properties. We also sell lands and shops in the market. So our investors, of course, aside the fact that the value of their property appreciates, we also have cases where you can actually lease these shops, so you get passive income. So if peradventure you want to sell subsequently, of course you've gotten increased value in the sense that the value of your property has appreciated. And also it's a given fact that in Nigeria, the value of properties, we've not experienced any form of property crashes in recent times. So of course, we are believing that properties will keep appreciating in value. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, our markets they actually start from 1.5 million naira.
Awesome. 1.5 million only. That's awesome. Awesome. All right.
Next, we have Brains and Hammers.
Brains and Hammers, another sponsor of the program. So very, very briefly, tell us what to expect from Brains and Hammers.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, Ma. My name is Munir. I work with Brains and Hammers. Brains and Hammers is a real estate company which is all across Nigeria. We have projects in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Abuja, and in Kano. And all across this, those states, we have affordable homes, we have mid-range, and we have luxury homes. And people all across Nigeria, in all levels, can get houses, from mortgage to normal sales. We have houses in Guzape, in Abuja, houses in Airport Road, houses in Life Camp. We have houses even outside Abuja, so that it can fit into everyone's pocket. And we are very welcome, and we are better. Thank you very much.
He already says it. He already said it, actually, that he wants a house.
Next is Desan. Speak my language. Ishan. Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa.
Sure. Izesan is an African language learning platform that's committed to teaching African languages and culture. We as Africans need to embrace our languages and make sure that we teach it to our children. I myself have a 1-year-old daughter, and I want to make sure that she speaks our language. So that's what we're committed to doing at Izesan. Esan.
Esan, do you speak it?
Yes, Ms.
And you said Esan. Isham.
That's the
Is that Isham?
that's the Anglo-Saxonized version.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Esan, yeah.
It's also my language. So they call it Esan. So Yoruba is Yoruba.
Right.
Yoruba. I'm from Delta State. Yeah.
What year?
I don't
But
speak
that's
that.
So give me one Esan language.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm from Delta State.
Say something in
Otofie.
All right, this is
Next, Purple Rehabilitation.
another project that's very close.
Purple Prosthetic.
Good morning. So we're Purple Prosthetics, and we're based in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Lagos. We create artificial limbs on Ondo State. When you invite us, we'll be there. We're open to it. So we make prosthetic legs and arms, any sort of limbs and body parts to support people who've been amputated. And we also provide psychological services, because we're aware that when somebody goes through a physical amputation, it also has an impact on their psychology and their mental health. Yes.
Thank you so much. You are doing so much, giving people another chance in life, you know. Some people may actually feel like they may give up, feeling like maybe they will not be able to do what they used to do, you know. So this is giving them a renewed chance in living. Thank you. You are saving lives, really.
That's
yes.
right. We work with little children, we work with adults, and like I said, we have a lab already, and we create all the prosthetics ourselves. Yes, and we have people who come in from different countries that want to use services, and we're looking forward to opening branches in places like Rwanda and Ethiopia. We've been a couple of times, we've had conversations, we're going through the licensing process. So we're looking forward to a future where we can help a lot more people.
Sorry, what are you trying to open?
More branches of the prosthetic center. So we have Purple Prosthetics, and we're currently in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and in Abuja. And we have people who come in from other African countries to get artificial limbs. So we have our own lab that we make the limbs. That's right. And so when people come in, our chief prosthetist was trained in Netherlands. So when people come in, we help them with, artificial arms or legs, whatever they need. And then we've had people who come from other African countries. So our goal is to open something in Eastern Africa so that we can serve that region. And then Nigeria is serving the West Africa region. Thank you so much.
We're very, very proud of what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Next, we're Vantage Point Academy.
Another one that I'm very, very, very
Where
passionate
kids
about.
do special
And we
things.
partner with. She's a member of the planning committee. Oh, we didn't do pictures on my stand, so we're going back.
Maggie David.
All right. So I'll let Miss Marie David, a lawyer, but with passion for education, talk about Vantage Point Academy.
Thank you, Dr. Barioa. I just want to say thank you, Kabiesi Ekbelesa. So, Vantage Point Academy, for those of you that were here yesterday, the children were here. Today they're writing exams. So they're not able to participate. Mommy, your kids were so looking forward to seeing their big mommy yesterday. But we started this project about 7 years ago, born out of a passion to bridge the gap that we had seen, having been schooled here and schooled in the United States. I just knew there was a difference. So it was out of that hunger to do and give back. This predates NDIS. Most of what we're doing predates NDIS. So we set up the school because many of the education, the very wealthy people can send their children abroad. So we are bringing abroad down here with a curriculum that is catered. So we're trying to build a globally competent child, as well as morally sound and dedicated. You know, we want to have the best of both worlds, where our children know how to respect elders, know how to speak well, but at the same time, where if you send them to America or England or Asia, they just fit right in. So we're grateful for the partnership that we have gotten from our big mommy. She calls on them a lot. And then with NDIS. So I just, we want to be, most of our children, we have about 130 kids enrolled, but about 70 out of them are either on full scholarship or on a grant of some kind. But we've been doing this alone. So we invite you to help us out. Sponsor a kid, you know, sponsor a child to maybe per session, multiple sessions, and we just train more children. There's so many kids that otherwise will not be in school if we didn't have the program that we have in Vantage Point Academy. And this is what they do. We don't only teach them, yes ma'am, this is their product. We don't only teach them education, but you know, the art and craft entrepreneur is part of what we do, and financial education. So thank you all for stopping by. Now we're gonna do pictures.
And she's also building leaders of tomorrow. So have a great leadership curriculum.
A picture at Vantage Point Academy. And we move shortly
we're taking pictures, so
to
please
the next.
just bear with us. As we move back to my own spot for pictures. All right, well done, Marie. Very proud of you.
Thank you. And the next is FBN Quest, FBN Capital, First Bank, Nigeria.
One of our sponsors, so we want them to tell us what FBN Quest is all about. You have a new crowd, you know, online, so you want to very briefly tell them what you do.
Thank you.
It's on.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, honorables, and distinguished guests. My name is Isabella Shipa. I'm representing, with my team here, we're representing FBN Quest. Who's FBN Quest? FBN Quest is a merchant bank, wholly registered with the central bank, CBN, and we're licensed and regulated by the CBN. Basically, our services ranges from advisory, financing, trading, investing, and securing. And we offer these services through our subsidiary companies, which is FBN Quest Capital, FBN Quest Trustees, FBN Quest Securities, FBN Quest First Funds, and FBN Quest Asset Management. It's our first participation for this event, and we're quite happy that we actually participated. It's been such an eye-opener for us, and we're seeing lots of opportunities that are bound for, you know, for this partnership, and we look forward to even, you know, stronger partnerships. Specifically for us, we're quite aware of how the importance of the diaspora market is to us, or the Nigerians in diaspora. Like Dr. Brooks said, the diaspora is the future. And solely because of that, we've set up a segment within the bank which is supposed to service the diaspora market. And in light of this, we've created products as well, which is suitable to the diaspora market. So for us, one of the core things that we wanted to achieve here was to see how we could put ourselves out there, partner with, you know, the summit, partner with NIDCOM as well, and see how we can reach more clients in diaspora. We have products that range for retail investors, corporate investors, governments, foundations, and the likes of. So we can't, we don't have a lot of time, but we're really happy that you stopped by at our stand, and we're hoping again, like I said, that we can strengthen the partnership, and we definitely will be participating in, other summits going forward. Thank you so very much.
All right, and also all the information of the sponsors are on our website, so you can always find out more. Now,
Brain and Spine,
great project.
Dr.
This is
Buzz
Brain and
Point.
Spine Surgery. It's a diaspora from the UK who has been doing a lot in giving back. It's one of us, actually, and he's been partnering with us. My foundation and them, we gave out free health care to residents of FCT 2 years in a row. So he's passionate about helping the underprivileged. So I'll let you tell us more about Brain and Spine Surgery.
Good afternoon, Her Excellency and everyone on the entourage. On behalf of my medical director, Dr. Biodo Ogumbo, who is not available now. Okay, yes, and he's having another one this Saturday, Doctors for Difference. Yes, so actually we are a specialized hospital. We only deal with brain and spine, and that makes us more effective. And so we encourage our people to patronize him, like she said. She basically returned from UK to continue the practice here and to discourage medical tourism. That is his major aim. And by God's help, he has been doing very well. And so we encourage our people to patronize us, and we promise you, you'll get a better result.
And this one is tested and trusted. Brain and Spine, Nigeria in Diaspora,
And this one is doing
Dr. Biodun
amazing things.
Ogumbo.
Even for those who can afford it, it's subsidized.
That's right. Dr. Biodun Ogumbo.
Brain and spine
yes,
surgery
specialist. Next is another returnee Nigeria diasporan, Kachi Okezie.
I really want
Esquire.
to make the point that those of us in the NDIS were practicing what we're preaching. This is another member of the committee who is giving back. Barrister Kachi Okezie, please tell us about Small Biz Nigeria.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your coming to see what we're doing. I came back, this was in 2019, I saw a couple of young Nigerians trying to set up a newsletter. They had all the skills. These guys were dedicated and passionate, but they were limited. So I chose to invest in them. And together we set this up and launched it here in 2019 at the summit. So in a sense, it's one of the products of this summit. And I said to them that it's about doing what we preach and demonstrating that our ideas about diaspora can work. Small Biz Nigeria is the only, I say authoritatively, the only magazine that is dedicated exclusively to small businesses. Others may have a desk or a correspondent. This is Small Biz from beginning to end. And so your support is very welcome. Thank you.
Oh, this is a product of
Small
NDIS,
Biz
actually.
Nigeria.
This is one of our success stories.
Small Biz
Okay.
Nigeria.
Tembe Kaswa.
Tembe
Tembe
Kaswa.
Kaswa. Market Square. Okay, so can you tell us what Tembe Kaswa is?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tembe Kaswa. Tembe Kaswa is a marketplace for agriculture. It is for distribution of our agricultural products. It makes it easier for access from consumers and it makes access easier between consumers and the farmers. You know who you're going to buy your product from. It is trustworthy because you know the person. It is centralized. It's trying to make consumption and distribution value, and everyone will have access to it. Rather than going to the market, you go to the farmer, talk to the farmer. You can even insure your crops there. They will be the one to plant it for you and distribute it to you. So it is easier. It's a marketplace for us, and it serves as a blockchain between the consumers and the farmers and the distributors. Thank you.
That is a phenomenon concept. Cut out the
Next,
middleman.
we're at EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Our long-time diaspora supporters and sponsor. So, EcoBank, tell us why we should bank with EcoBank.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Your Excellencies,
distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and Kabiesi. I can't see him here right now. Anyway, EcoBank here, what we have here is a flagship product for Nigerians in diaspora. What that product does is that it allows the diasporans to transfer seamlessly into either their account in EcoBank or any other bank, and also their beneficiaries can also pick up in cash. It's a CBN licensed product, and thankfully to the chairman Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, they're going to be working with us to upscale this to all our Nigerians either in Africa or outside Africa. It's easy. It can be used on the app. It's called the Rapid Transfer app. It's easy. It's cost effective. And you can do it in the comfort of your home. In terms of payment, that's a commission. If you actually don't want to do it immediately, if you do it in day 3, it's free. You do it in day 2, 1%. Do it in day 0, then you pay 3%. So we believe that this is our own contribution to diasporans to help in developing the country. Because if this money comes in seamlessly and easily, it's all to the benefit of the country. Thank you very much for visiting us. Thank you.
Thank you. Group picture.
Your correspondent bank.
No. It's not. It's on the app, and all you do if you're sitting in your shores, maybe let's assume you're in the UK, you just use your bank account to do the transfer. So that's why it's cheaper than going through a correspondent bank. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Strategy Implementation Task Office for Presidential Executive Order number 5.
Excellent.
CTPO 5.
Please tell us.
Strategy Implementation for Presidential Executive Order
Strategy Implementation
number 5.
Task Office for Presidential Executive Order 5. That is the Secretariat of the Presidential Executive Order 5. The President is the Chairman of the Presidential Monitoring and Evaluation Council. The office is to promote indigenous technologies, contracts, and other things that has to do with our local content. And the office is going around the country now to bring the academia, the industry, and government together. Tell us your problem as an industry, and the researchers will provide solutions to your problems. Because so many people have been doing their researches in silos, and others do not know what they are doing. Yes.
Thank you very much. Now here's
Next
another
is
major sponsor.
Zenith Bank, Nigeria.
Thank you, Zenith. Thank you for your support. So please.
Technology, water, service, and
He's already sold you. He's already sold you, so you don't need to speak.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our booth today. Your Excellencies, good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our booth today. I'm sure we all know about Zenith Bank, so like I said, I don't have to say so much, but I would still speak. And what I would say is this. Zenith Bank is one of the biggest and most profitable banks in Nigeria, even in Africa, and our service is top-notch. That is why we've gotten... Thank you, sir. Lots of awards. And not only do we have presence in Nigeria, we have presence in the UK, we have presence in Dubai, in China, Gambia, Sierra Leone, and some other African countries. Now, I'll go straight into what we have for our diaspora customers because I know you already have an idea of what we have basically. So for our customers in diaspora, what we just want to give to them is convenient service. We realize and we know that they stay outside this country and they do not have the luxury of coming into our banking halls to make complaints, to open accounts, and bank. So what we're here to do is make them bank like they are just at home. What do we have for them? We have our convenient account opening. You open account at the convenience of your home. You don't need to visit the country. We have our online account opening. We have especially a special package, mortgage package for our customers in diaspora to buy property here in Nigeria. And not only do we stop at giving them this mortgage facility, we can also introduce them to real estate agents if they wish. Now, let me move from the diaspora aspect now. We have a special package called the SME Grow My Business. What does it do? It encourages small and medium scale businesses, and also our Z-Woman. Z-Woman encourages women that are entrepreneurs. It encourages their businesses as well. So let me just stop there so I don't take so much of your time. We'll really love to bank with you. Thank you.
As you're one of our partners, we're going to continue the discussion.
Thank you,
Okay?
Zenith Bank. National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDRA,
Please, very
is up
quickly.
next.
I don't want to cut you short, so very, very briefly. Tell us.
Good afternoon. My name is Engineer Adewale Akim, my colleague Engineer Timi. So we are a government agency. We are responsible for launching and designing satellites for Nigeria. But here we brought some things to exhibit, which is spin-offs from our satellite technology. So this is not a shoe that we have done ourselves. We didn't fabricate ourselves. But here we have incorporated our own technology in this shoe. That's why I call it a smart shoe. So this shoe has a GPRS and some modules on it. So anywhere this shoe is, you can actually track it from the comfort of your room. You can track whoever is wearing these shoes. That's why I call it a smart shoe. And also drones are common everywhere. You can get drones everywhere. But this one is actually peculiar to us because 85% of what is used to make these drones is actually local content. So that's why it is peculiar to us. And this drone can fly right now for 20 minutes, and it can go as high as 100 meters. But it can go further than that by doing some more research. But we can actually communicate with it when it is at altitude of 1,000 meters. So that's all we have for you. Thank you very much for coming.
And they're training young children in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Excellent. Thank you. So we now move on. We have just 4 more, so very quickly. We're not finished, though. We have our sponsors here. We want them to come back next year.
Federal Mortgage Bank and BM.
PEPEC. This is PEPEC.
Okay.
This is PEPEC. Okay.
PEPEC.
Right. Yes. So we need to hear about PEPEC.
Presidential Enabling Business
To give
Environment.
the diasporas more trust, ease of doing business.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to PEBEC, Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. So basically PEBEC is an organization established under the Office of the Vice President. It's being chaired by 13 sitting ministers and headed by the Vice President, that's Professor Sibanjo. What we do is we try to make Nigeria an easy and conducive place to do business. A lot of people have perspectives about doing businesses in Nigeria. One of the reforms we do is to just try to make sure foreigners can come in here to do their business in a conducive environment. We also implement reforms. We have implemented about 160 reforms since PEBEC started. Also the NAP 7.0, which is used to check transparency across all agencies. We also established an application called reportgov.ng. So the reportgov.ng is a platform for businesses, MSMEs, to give their feedbacks and complaints to the government. So we have 55 ministries, departments, and agencies on this portal. So from the portal, when we get the feedbacks, what we do is we just assign them to the concerned agency. And each agency has 72 hours to resolve every complaint. That's 3 days. So I know you'll be wondering, okay, do they actually comply to the 72 hours? Yes, they do, because we publish reports. These reports are being published, and they are published online and on websites. So there's no agency that wants to be scored bad. Every agency wants to do good. So they have to put in their 10 toes, step up their game to actually initiate these reforms. So basically, we just try to just make Nigeria a conducive and easy place for foreigners and both local businesses to enjoy Nigeria and run their business safely and conducive. Okay, so the website is businessmadeeasy.gov.ng. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. No, 3 more to go. NIPC, our partners. So, just quickly, please tell us about NIPC.
My name is Emmanuel Longza, a staff of NIPC. The Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission is a federal government agency that is mandated to encourage, promote, and coordinate investment in Nigeria. But we know that investment lies in the states. And I'm happy to have Ondo State and Ekiti State represented here. So we needed a tool to be able to promote those states. And so that tool that we use, that promotional tool that we use, is what we call the Book of States. And in the Book of State, we try to profile the states based on their competitive advantages and the investment opportunities that lies in those states. So anytime we have an opportunity to either go out of the country or within the country, we market those states and promote them. Then we have a compendium of investment incentives, because I'm sure Nigeria and diaspora would like to know the kind of incentives they will enjoy if they invest in Nigeria. So we have a complete compendium of the investment incentives that we have, so that they can be well informed before they now invest in Nigeria. Now, but our audience, most of them are outside the country. So we feel it's important to have an iGuide that's online so that they can have access to it as well. So we have 100 and almost 55 languages translated in this iGuide, and it can be accessed online. So basically, those are the things that we do to promote investment and to ensure that the investment goes out. So I'd like to give them copies of the investment guide.
Thank you. NIPC has been partnering with us since onset, giving investors ease of mind. Okay. So next
is FIRS. It pays to pay tax.
It pays to pay your tax. Excellent.
Heard that.
FIRS is also one of our sponsors. They've been with us since the beginning. So thank you. Please tell us about why Nigerians and people doing business in Nigeria must pay tax.
Good afternoon, all. People doing business in Nigeria must pay tax because it's with the tax gotten from businesses and taxpayers that the government will carry out some infrastructures that in the country. For example, good roads that we see is from the tax money, is money gotten from taxpayers, that they construct good roads. Hospitals are constructed, federal hospitals, federal universities, and all that are all constructed with the money gotten from taxpayers. So that is why it is necessary that we comply and pay tax as at when due, adequately and on time too. Yes. Actually, for FRS, there is this platform that just came on board. We call it the Tax Pro Max platform. On this platform, it makes it easier for you to pay your tax online. You can actually, at the comfort of your home or your offices, pay your tax. You can log into our website. You can also call us. We also launched what we call the contact center. Yes. There is a contact center you can call anytime. You don't need to come to the office by yourself. All you need to do is call this number and you will be attended to. You can call us in English, Hausa, in any of the languages, Yoruba, French, even Pidgin and Arabic, and you'll be well attended to. www.frs.gov.ng.
And the number is
094602700.
Thank you for your support. Thank you.
Next, we move on to Coronation Marchants. They're setting up Coronation Marching Band. But we'll move along now,
okay,
shall
Coronation,
we? From Coronation, we move along to the Federal Mortgage Bank. Federal Mortgage Bank.
You have 30 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. But
FMB.
quickly, this is one of our major sponsors, so we need to know what you are all about, okay? Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon all, my distinguished honorable commissioner, and then our distinguished guests. We are happy to meet you all here today. We are from Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, and then for any eligible adult from 18 years and above is eligible to be part and parcel of Federal Mortgage Bank and benefit from this window. Once you are a contributor for at least 6 months in Federal Mortgage Bank, you are liable, you are eligible to go into any of our loans. We have the home renovation loan, which we give out cash to individuals up to 1 million maximum. And then for the NHF loan window, You can go to any state within the nation. You so wish to be packaged for any of the houses from another developer, an external developer. That's when we can now package you, but you have to register with a primary mortgage bank for them because they are the intermediaries between us and the contributors of NHF. And then for the rent to own that we have here, as the name applies, rent to own. It means that you'll be renting for a particular house that we built, we funded by giving out to a developer to build the houses for us, so that the NHF contributors will have it, as it says, that everybody deserves a home with a lower price to earn a house to live in. So by doing so, you'll be paying that amount of money as a deduction in as much as you stay and you have been repaying all throughout the loan service months and years. And the maximum is 30 years. So the earlier, the better for Nigerians. No, we package somebody's affordability by his remaining service years. So it all depends on how long you have served the nation. So we advise people that in as much as they get their job, they should quickly engage in any of our loans because it reduces the affordability of one to have a house. Yes, we have a self-employed window. Yes, you just be contributing on your own. Yes, sir. That's how it is. Yes, we have. Yes, yeah. Yes.
And they'll be entitled to 50 million naira. And so, at least that's the partnership we have with FHA. So, people like.
Last but not the least,
Dr. Brooks, you must buy a house.
Soul Savings and Loans PLC.
Another sponsor. So, one very close to our heart. So, we'll let you tell us very briefly what you do.
Good afternoon, distinguished gentlemen. Our guest of honor. Okay, good afternoon. You're welcome, our distinguished guest. I am John Jato. I represent ASO Savings and Loans. We are mortgage. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Oh, Liz, I'm lady. A bit lighter, sir. We are happy to be here to present, to be part of the sponsors and to be part of this program. We were here last year. We presented that we will start some projects, and these are the projects that we have already started. And we are really happy with NDIS for giving us the opportunity because we got some few diasporans who came in here and bought some of our properties. Some have promised to come over by the end of the year to also subscribe on these properties. We were able to give opportunities also at the same time to give people the opportunity whether to buy the houses with a payment structure or to buy the piece of land so that they can build something on their own. Once again, we say thank you so much with NDIS. We are willing to partner much more. Thank you.
Thank you for your partnership. Thank you.
Thank you.
One last stop to my sister state.
I've actually told the Honorable Commissioner for Energy just 1 minute brief.
Okay.
Then we'll go.
All right. Sorry, let me put the mic.
Okay, give me one thing. You know that construction meets all the regulations, so you have the peace of mind, and their properties are also affordable. So that is the beauty. No fraudulent.
He's the permanent secretary of the Federal Cabinet of Abuja.
Thank
So he's the landlord here.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, landlord.
That's our landlord.
All right.
One last stop at Ondo State for energy. One last stop at Ondo State. We'll talk about energy at Ondo State. One last stop to talk about energy before we go. Ondo State, Develop Ondo 2.0. And this is about energy. Yes. This is the second coming.
Your Excellency, this decade has been declared by the federal government as Decade of Gas. So I'll quickly speak about gas here. We are leveraging the National Gas Expansion Program to promote CNG use in Ondo State. So many things are happening in 2023. Most significant is the removal of subsidies on PMS. The implication might be up to 200 or 300% spike in PMS prices. Do we have an alternative? The answer is yes. Let's build CNG refill stations. Let's start conversion, build local capacity so that welders can build their own cylinders in the neighborhood and actually be able to do the move from PMS to gas use within Nigeria. We are also doing our best to get inland access to gas. Currently, the federal government is investing on AKK, the Ajaokuta, Kano-Kaduna pipeline, and the transatlantic pipeline. But that is external. What can we do to bring gas to the people, especially in Ondo State? Being a hub, that's why we are dedicating about 400 hectares of land to build a gas hub in Ore Industrial Park. This will mean we can support gas-fired turbines for electricity generation, get LPG to people's homes in a safe manner, and more. And the last there is green hydrogen. We've done some exploration and we visited some countries, especially Germany earlier in the year, by the instruction of Mr. Governor, to understudy how Ondo could position to actually be a global leader in export. Remember, Europe struggles now with how do they get the hydrogen green, and we need the sun. And Ondo State is not just sunshine state. By name, we actually have a state that has sunshine from like 8 a.m. in the morning to about 6 p.m. in the evening. We are trying to harness this with a view to providing the electricity that will be coming from solar so that we can do electrolysis, liberate hydrogen, and ship to Europe and earn forex. So that speaks to our gas and more in other areas. If time permits, we can speak to those. Okay. Thank you.
So we'll take a picture at the Ondo stand, and if you are not in this picture and you're not at the summit, this is the all-American Nigerian picture at the Ondo stand.
Okay, you'll allow me.
Yes, I'll allow you.
I'm just right here. I'm okay.
This is the picture. Even the cameramen are doing a selfie for themselves. Everybody loves Ondo State now.
Okay.
I am.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Now we take a break.
Thank you.
We go for
We
tea
return
break.
for the conclusion of tea break, and Ondo State will have a special session where we'll get to hear much more. Welcome back.
This way, sir. And we're going for tea break, yes. So really, this is a very, very exciting year for NDIS. It's the 5th NDIS, and we're just getting stronger, building more partnerships, and we hope to get much bigger next year.
That's
so
right.
many interests are already coming in from the businesses that were pitched already. So a lot of deals are already being made. So we're having a very successful summit. Thank you all, and thank you all.
Thank you very much. We return now for the Ondo special presentation, where we'll have a couple of presentations to get to know about the excellent things happening in Ondo State.
She was living in Atlanta, but she.
So we'll ask everyone to return to the hall as we get set to kickstart the second session. This is a special session for Ondo State. A quick announcement. We have, if you're missing one arm of your earbud, one is found and is kept with our media guys. If it's yours, please, you'll get to the media point for identity and collection.
Please help me give it to them over there. We're done with it. It's on.
If you are looking for your earbud, black earbud, please come to the media stand, identify, and collect.
You want to sharp? You want to sharp guy? Flash him. No, that's flash him.
You're welcome. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to kickstart the next session. We ask everyone to please return. Tea break is over, and we'll proceed with this session. Thank you. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're set for the second session, a special session on Develop Ondo 2.0, Hub of Investment Opportunities. We'll be taking in this session some special remark and directly hearing on investment opportunities in Ondo State. Keynote address will also be on designing Ondo Port for export business of the nation and presentation of NICP's certificates. We'll also get to know of the Ondo ports, the roadmap to key business potentials in Ondo State, and Ondo as an alternative to Lagos port congestion. We'll have interactive session, and then before we have the closing remark. We'll ask everyone to please come in, get seated, as we get set to kickstart this next session, a very, very important session. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, will be starting in 7 minutes. Check. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll be kickstarting in 4 minutes. We ask participants and our distinguished guests to please return to the hall. In 4 minutes, we'll start the special session for Ondo State. This session begins in the next 4 minutes. Thank you. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the special session on Ondo, Develop Ondo 2.0, Hub of Investment Opportunities. A quick recognition of Hajara Kadri, who is representing the Managing Director of Federal Housing Authority, FHA, Senator Gbenga Ashafa. Hajara, thank you for joining us. We'll be listening to her later. A round of applause is appropriate for Hajara. Thank you very much for joining us. We also will be taking, I want to quickly recognize Mr. Samuel Ogbonnaya, Program Coordinator, MAS. He's also here with us from OLAMS. Mr. Samuel Ogbonnaya, is he here with us? Mr. Samuel, there he is. Thank you very much. He'll be speaking also very shortly. Thank you for joining us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we begin this session with some special remark. We'll also be listening to Honorable Toby Ogunleye, Special Advisor to the Ondo State Governor on Transport, Ondo State. Honorable Toby Ogunleye, we recognize you. Thank you very much for being here. Let me begin by inviting Mr. Samuel Ogbonnaya, who is the Program Coordinator, MAS, from Olam's Food Ingredients, Nigeria. So he will be coming up to give a brief remark. Please welcome Mr. Samuel with a round of applause for a brief remark.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Still standing on already established protocol, but most importantly, I want to recognize the Chairman, Chief Executive Officers, the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, and then His Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, His Excellency, Mr. Lucky Oremisun, and all protocol duly observed. So I'm here representing my country and business head for Olam Food Ingredients in the person of Mr. Inderjit Singh. He was supposed to be here in person, but had to call me in to represent him. And we are here on a special invitation by the Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora, Ondo State, Honorable Prince Boye. And our main aim is to be able to look at the various business opportunities, investment opportunities in Ondo State, more especially in the area of agriculture, across the cocoa value chain. And our key focus is more on the warehousing and shipment potential, more especially around the Ondo Deep Seaport. We believe that once the Ondo Deep Seaport is declared, that is one of the areas that Olam Food Ingredients is interested to invest in and also help to drive the agribusiness potential of Nigeria forward. So we are looking forward to a very good deliberation here today as we look towards these opportunities. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And very quickly, I invite Special Advisor to the Ondo State Governor on Transport, Ondo State. Please welcome Honorable Toby Ogunleye for a brief remark.
Good afternoon. My name is Toby Ogunleye, the Special Advisor to the Governor of Ondo State on Transport. I am adopting the already established protocol and then the beautiful presentation that have been earlier on presented. We are here to make a universal offer to Nigerians in diaspora. We are showcasing Ondo State Ondo State could be likened to be the Garden of Eden in the Bible. The Garden of Eden was endowed by God with all the resources, both human and the natural. But the Adam and Eve of them, they failed and they were driven out of the Garden of Eden. On those states, we are known for our redeemed agenda. This program is redemptive. So, on those states is calling for people to come and tap into the untapped resources in the Garden of Eden that dwell in Ondo State. Ondo State is a literal state. We are blessed. People have been talking about Port Ondo, Port Ondo. What is so special about Port Ondo? Some states, some people believe that we are into unhealthy competition with them. No. Lagos is already congested, and Lagos will ever remain Lagos. Take everything away from Lagos, you cannot take the oceanic splendor of Lagos. But it is not peculiar to Lagos alone. Ondo State is at the thoroughfare of development. When you are coming from the north, you are coming from the east, you don't need to come to Lagos. Because Lagos, the gridlocks in Apapa, it is making things difficult. But when you are coming from Abuja and the other part of, you need to just stop at Ondo. The Lekki port has been declared. The Badagry port has been declared. What is stopping the declaration of Port Ondo? We've received a lot of interest from Diaspora. They want to come to Ondo, but there's something that and it's good that this summit is coming here at the heart, in the very heart of the government of Nigeria, the Aso Rock. So we are calling on the people who have the authority and the power to give this long-awaited declaration for Port Ondo. I want you to look at the phrase, develop Ondo. It's like saying, come to Macedonia, come and help us. We are not begging. Ondo State is the industrial and investment last hope of Nigeria. How do I mean? Port Ondo on its own, we have inland waterways, untapped. Ondo State has the longest and the deepest coastline in West Africa. You can't take that one away from us. As Yoruba will say, bí ojú ò bá ti ẹ̀yìn gbẹ̀tì, ojú ò ní ti Èkó lé. That is for Lagos. If Ondo, inland port and deep sea is tapped into, Nigeria will be good for it. Ondo State belongs to entire black race. It's not for Ondo alone. I want to commend my brother from Ekiti. He shown one attitude. He admitted that Ekiti is a landlocked state, but that the proximity of Ekiti to Ondo will be beneficial. It's that they will celebrate the declaration of Port of Ondo better than Ondo State, because they know for sure that the resultant effect of that declaration. It's not meant for Ondo State alone. It's for everywhere. So let me stop at the port. I'm presenting the potential that the transport sector has. Ondo, logistic and courier services, in order to complement other MDAs. So finally, let me make this before I leave. If Akwa Ibom could float Ibom Air, what stop Ondo from floating Sunshine Airline? I hereby call on everybody hearing me, far and near, Ondo State is heaven for industrial development of Africa. God bless you.
Give it up for Ondo State, the Sunshine State. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while that special remark was on, someone whispered to me that each time we talk about this port, we mention Lagos. And someone whispered that we should remember that the CEO, chairman, is a Lagosian, and that you should leave Lagos Port alone and talk about Ondo Port. Well, we'll move on now. You've heard a lot about ONDIPA, and that's where we're headed next. We're talking about investment opportunities in Ondo State. Please welcome the Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency, ONDIPA, Mr. Gbenga Badijo. The gentleman will take us through what this is all about. Welcome him with a distinguished round of applause. Mr. Gbenga, sir.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you. Permit me to stand on the established protocols that's been, if I'm not mistaken, declared a long time ago, perhaps before the Second World War. But I would like to recognize the Deputy Governor of our state, Honorable Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa. And I would also like to recognize the CEO and Chairman of NITCOM, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri Erewa. And I would assure you, Madam, that I'm not going to talk about Lagos Port. I can assure you straight away. Okay, I've just been corrected. I'd like to recognize the acting governor of our state. And it's good to say that, actually, because each time I say your name, I'm actually praying for myself. So, Honorable Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa. I also like to recognize the representative of the governor of Ekiti State. May I just thank you, sir, for the very, very robust presentation you made on behalf of our state. Thank you so much. And I also just like to recognize the Kabiesi. Thank you, sir, for being here since morning and for championing the cause of our state. Can I have the slides, please? Thank you. My role is and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me. My role is very, very easy. I've been asked to talk about investment opportunities in Ondo State. And a lot have been said about this, but my role is just to take us through some of the features of our state. I am totally invested in this because I'm from Ondo State myself. So can I have the first slide, please? So these are some of the economic features of our state. We have 75-kilometer Atlantic coastline. And although we are probably not the longest, we don't probably have the longest coastline in Nigeria, but we have one of the longest ones. And we have a functional passenger and cargo airport in Akure, our state capital. Mention has been made about cocoa production. We're certainly the largest producer of cocoa in Nigeria, with about 70,000 metric tons every year produced in our state. And our desire is to ensure that this is not exported. We're hoping that we can market the cocoa that we produce in our state and ensure that we get the full value of what we produce. We have very, very skilled and vibrant labor force. Our people are hospitable, they are peaceful, and we're welcoming. So please, we're inviting you to come to Ondo State. This is a call to not just those of us that are here, but those of us that are listening to me virtually. Please come to Ondo State. There's a lot to be done in our state. Now I just want to show you some of the other reasons why you should come to our state. Please, can I have the next slide? Thank you. We're not just endowed with natural resources, but we also have very good best practices and recognitions that showcases our state. One is the fact that in 2020, we were first in the fiscal transparency rating. We moved from the 36th position to the 8th in ease of doing business ranking in Nigeria. And that calls for some celebration, please, if you can clap for our state. And certainly we have a strong, I would say very strong commitment to honoring contracts. So you can rest assured, Dr. Brooks, if you come to Ondo State with your venture capitalist friends, and anyone else, if you come to Ondo State, we honor all our contracts. We are a law-abiding state. We don't break ranks. We don't break our contracts. Which I'm sure was part of the reason why our governor was awarded the Governor of the Year award in 2020. So these are some of the recognitions and best practices that shows our case in a very good light. Next slide, please. Thank you. Yes, the investment environment. Some of these have been mentioned earlier. We have a state-owned power plant, where we have a designated industrial park where we can have several industries, and we have access to national gas supply infrastructure. But now I want to talk about the immediate investment opportunities, things that we can take advantage of immediately. Next slide, please. Thank you. So our hope is that you would see some of the areas where you can invest immediately. One is agriculture. And this has been spoken about several times here from this platform. But beyond just harvesting things, our desire is to add value to raw produce, so that we don't export our cocoa to Belgium where there is no cocoa tree and they send it back to us. We want to add value. And we need you. We need you. I'm making an impassioned plea. Please, we need you to assist us to make this happen. We are the largest producer of cocoa in Nigeria, Ondo State. So we need people to support us in ensuring that our cocoa becomes chocolate. And people have asked me today, people have been asking about the chocolate that we brought last year. I can assure you that before I leave here, some of us will have those chocolates. That I can assure us. But we want more. We want more. We want more to happen. So please join us in ensuring that we can turn our cocoa to butter, to wine even, And our cassava, at the moment, all of the cassava that is produced in Nigeria is consumed here. So we need more investment in that area so that we can turn our cassava to industrial starch, to bioplastics, and to animal feeds. There is room for you. Our state is ready to welcome you to partner with us in making that happen. Plus, of course, there's sugarcane and oil palm. So please, please come to Ondo State and help with our agriculture. Can we go to the next slide, please? The other area is animal husbandry. We have waterways where you can do fishery. We have capacities for dairy. And we are building a multi-billion naira, I would say, egg plant in Emureile, which has capacity for about 500,000 eggs in one day. So please come to Ondo. We still need more people to come and invest in poultry. Please do come to Ondo and help us to realize the potential that we have. In mining, our aim is to convert base minerals to products such as ceramic, glass, electrical insulators, etc. So, and we have, in Ondo State, we have the natural resources to make this happen. Some of the names I might not even be able to pronounce, but please come to Ondo. There's silica sand, there's granite, there's clay, and there is kaolin or kaolin. Please take whichever one you want to make sure that this happens. So we have great capacity for mining. Again, I'm begging us, come to Ondo State. Come and join us in making this happen. Next, please. And of course, tourism. We have a fantastic, beautiful, sandy beach in Araromi that is crying for development. Please come. Dr. Brooks, please tell your friends everywhere, you are part of us now. We want you to be an ambassador for Ondo State. I know that you have made a high chief already in Ondo State, but we want to make you an ambassador for our state. I'm not sure I have the power to do that, but I'm speaking in the presence of the acting governor, and I know that he can make that happen. So come and help us to turn Araromi seafront to a fantastic, beautiful development that will attract tourism from everywhere. And of course, we have Idonre Hill that we have not actually taken advantage of. So we need people that will come to help us to enhance the site, to bring in things like cable cars and accommodation to ensure that Idonre really fully achieves its potential. That's in tourism. Next slide, please. Infrastructure. We have the opportunity between, let me just say this, between Lekki and Ondo State, there's only a 37-kilometer distance between Lekki and where our port of Ondo would be. So rather than traveling 4 hours coming through Ore or going through Ibadan, we need people that can help us to ensure that we are within 20 minutes or 25 minutes, you can get from the commercial capital of Nigeria to Ondo State by constructing a 37-kilometer route to Lekki. We need people to come and join us to make that happen. And of course, not only would you come to Ondo State, but that's where our free trade zone will also be. And of course, the port of Ondo. But talking about the port of Ondo, let me just talk about the port of Ondo. Please, can we have the next slide? Because the CEO and chairman of NITCOM is our host, we concede the port of Lagos. We say the port of Lagos is exquisitely beautiful, fantastic, glorious, wonderful. No problems at all. No problems at Tinkan Island. No problems at Apapa. And we give you that. We give you that. But we want the port of Ondo to be the port for Nigeria. And I'm sure you give us that. I'm sure you'll give us that. So at the moment, we are waiting the approval from the Federal Executive Council. And we know that Ekiti State is behind us. Our honorable that spoke earlier spoke to the walls here so that the walls can go and represent us. I actually thought he was going to mention names. I was really scared that we're in Aso Rock. Be very careful, but he spoke very courageously about it. We want the port of Ondo to be the port for Nigeria. It will be wonderful. It will transform our state. But beyond that, it will transform the southwest region of Nigeria, where it's a massive conduit to the north of Nigeria and to the eastern part of Nigeria. So please, please come to the port of Ondo, which will be the port of Nigeria. Next slide, please. So, and these are our promises as a state. These are our promises. We want to build lasting relationships with our investors. We don't want to just take your money and make life difficult for you. We're a state that will be transparent and keep to our terms of agreement, because we are fully invested in what we're trying to do. We are very capable people in our state. You've listened to some of our commissioners, some of our special advisors. You've listened to our acting governor, who is here. We have top-class professionals that will ensure there are no bureaucratic nightmares. And of course, our promise is that we will prioritize our investors' interest and that of the people of our state. We will prioritize your investment. We won't, or as an investor, we won't just take your money and run. And finally, we have ONDIPA. The governor of our state has deemed it fit that it makes sense to warehouse all of the activities around investment in our state in one agency. So that's why we have ONDIPA. Next slide, please, ONDIPA. Thank you. To be a one-stop investors contact. Every information that you need, you can get from us. We will support you with information. We will support you with all the regulations that you need to know about our state. We will ensure that we give you opportunities to build business-to-business contacts. And I will just say for a few minutes, please just see our contact details there. You can go to ondipa.org. You find information about us. You visited our stand today, and there are other stuff you can see there. So, and at ONDIPA, we're trying to invest, to connect, and to transform. That's our strategy. That's our aim. I will close with this. We want people to join us in Ondo State. Ondo State is already on the move. And really, truly, we don't want anyone to miss out. So a few years ago, Lekki was nowhere to go. Dubai was nowhere to go. Some people missed out. So as much as we want you to come and invest in our state, we don't want you to miss out, actually, on Ondo. So I'm appealing to investors, prospective investors, our Nigerians in the diaspora. Ondo State is calling. We have a big vision in our state. We have the skills, we have the innovation, we have the determination to ensure that our state becomes a place where people can do business. And we also have the mechanism to make it happen. Please join us. We are calling on you. And I want you to have that in the next 20 years, when you look back, you'll be glad you heeded our call. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mr. Benga Badejo. Thank you very much. Chief Executive Officer, CEO, ONDIPA. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the point of the keynote address. The keynote address is on designing Ondo Port for export business of the nation, and this will be presented by the Director, International Export Office, Mr. Babatunde Olusegun Falike. Please welcome Mr. Falike with a round of applause. He takes our keynote address now.
A very good afternoon. I bring greetings from my CEO, Dr. Esra Yakusak, who unavoidably is absent due to other pressing assignment. I want to stand on the well-established protocol, but most importantly, he has asked me to appreciate the work of the commission, of the chairman, Honorable Abike Dabire, for doing a wonderful job and for our consistency in hosting the investment summit in the last 5 years. The impact of this is very obvious in education, in health, and in trade. We've had so much of the investment of diaspora. We recognize that. Without much ado, I just want to speak to his keynote address. It is my pleasure to be in your midst today on this occasion of the 2022 edition of the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit, an initiative of the Diaspora Commission aimed at encouraging Nigerians in diaspora to invest in local businesses within Nigeria with a view to boosting our economic growth. This is indeed timely in view of the ever-increasing challenges bedeviling oil production and distribution across the globe. Countries of the world are looking both inward and outward on other alternative sources of sustaining their countries. Nigeria as a nation therefore needs to increase productivity and enhance expansion to facilitate economic growth. For us at Nigeria Export Promotion Council, our core mandate is promoting the development and diversification of Nigeria export. We see ourselves as the second line of defense for the Nigerian economy. And our assignment, most of you knew very well, that is to develop products through diversification, through dissemination, through product development, and through market access. For us, this occasion is very timely, and we endorse the establishment of Ondo Deep Sea Port. Why? Today, over 80% of all trade are seaborne. 80% of trade are seaborne. The history of urban development reveals that economic advancement is especially apparent in cities with seaports. Without belaboring the issue of the existing port in Nigeria, it can never be enough if you want to do export business. If the council did all the product development, if the council sensitized people on creating export culture or Ibami export culture, if the council do all this and we support SME through our Go Global certification, and products are ready, but the products remain in Nigeria, is a problem. So for us, the export business needs a platform to transform and move this product across the border. The Ondo Deep Seaport development as an economic infrastructure will therefore positively influence the economic growth of Nigeria, to see this as a clarion call that we should all support it. The multiplier effect of the Ondo Deep Seaport is high. One, the state IGR will improve. There will be employment generation. There will be decent job. There will be new skills. There will be improved standard of living. Then Ondo State will become a player in the global blue economy. But we want to emphasize this, that in designing the deep sea, we want to encourage the creation of special economic zones, such as free zones, EPZs. This is to support the laudable program of one state, one product that Ondo State has embraced, especially on our export promotion drive. We also want to appeal that you partner with us in the establishment of domestic export warehouse. What is domestic export warehouse? It's a common facility center where production and process take place for ease of movement of goods. So we encourage that the design should be holistic. Like I said, the Ondo Deep Sea is very, very, very important and very, very welcome at this point. And for us to promote export business, where we've been doing, the deep sea is very important. Lagos, without us emphasizing it, it's not enough. It's not enough. This year alone, it is imperative to state that Nigeria has seen a dramatic growth in the mineral resources base through export. We have the One port, we have the Port Accord, all this went through them. And out of about 20 vessels that comes to West Africa, 15 berths in Nigeria. So we want to... All right. Yes.
Apologies. We just have a quick announcement from the Office of the Vice President. We want the following people to quickly report out here. Mr. Philip Moses. Is Mr. Philip Moses here? Mr. Philip Moses. Mr. Philip Moses. And Mr. Anthony Atoigbe. Mr. Anthony Atoigbe. Mr. Philip Moses. Mr. Anthony Atoigbe. And we would also want Engineer Razak Obey. Mr. Philip Moses, Mr. Anthony Atoigbe, Engineer Razak Obey. Thank you very much. Right. Apologies.
No problem. Thank you very much. As I was saying, out of 20 vessels that comes to West Africa daily, 15 berths in Nigeria. So we have information that the Olokola River has the longest coast and deepest harbor drought in Nigeria. Hence, this will be able to take bigger vessels that cannot berth in Lagos and other river ports in Nigeria. So with this natural endowed capacity, the deep sea in Ondo State is very, very important and germane. And apart from that, we expect that with the coming in of AFTA, the volume of trade is is going to be higher. And Lagos alone cannot undo this. We were recently in Gambia, and everything Gambia wants is Nigerian products. How do we get there? We look at the records. Some will take 1 month, some will take 2, some will take 2 months to go to Gambia. No. So we need another venue, all because Lagos is already congested. Not because it's not functional, but congestion. So we feel that the deep sea port in Ondo is very, very germane, also to support the AFTA trade. Like I said, records that we have shows that inland countries like Chad and China, like Chad and Niger, has everything goes through Apapa. Approximately 240 tons of general cargo goes through Apapa. The deadweight zone is also going through Apapa. So on the other hand, the port, Atakot, which is also a railway terminus and a major Nigerian coal, about handles around 10 tons of cargo annually. So it is therefore optimistic that berthing of a modern seaport in Ondo State, we know that address the part of the challenges experienced in our existing ports and boost export from Nigeria. Like I said, it can never be enough. So on the part of the council, we sincerely believe that the establishment and creation of deep sea in Ondo State will not only add value to Ondo State, but to the country as a whole. And I like to say that the management of NEPC commends the resolution and the resolve of the state to drive this game-changing public-private partnership project. And we also want to support the clarion call for diasporans, Nigerian diasporans, to support this clarion call, invest in this business, because all over the world, if you look at Singapore port, you look at California port, you look at the port in the world, they're doing very well. And it's a good game changer in terms of businesses, in terms of trade facilitation. On that note, we want to thank the state for taking this bold initiative and also support and put our stamp that, look, we are together. And NEP is ready to do everything that you so desire to support the drive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Apologies, if you look at your program, we have audience with the Vice President, and it's about time for that. That's why we had to do some cuts in between. I'm going to invite Engineer Razak to introduce the next presenter, and that will be the National Biosafety Management Agency. Engineer Razak.
Thank you. I've been asked to improvise as master of the ceremonies because this is our program, Ondo, Develop Ondo. I have the honor to invite the Deputy Director and Head Planning and Research and Statistics, National Biosafety Management Agency, Mrs. Belu Scholastica, to come to the microphone. Please, a round of applause. She's representing the DG CEO of NBMA, Dr. Rufus Ebegba. Thank you.
Each time a presenter steps up here to make a presentation, the projector magnifies the beauty of nature. Everything on the screen looks very beautiful, especially the presenters. And most importantly, the presenters speak very eloquently. I hope I will not be different. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, previous speakers had either stewed or adopted the existing protocol. Permit me to embrace the existing protocol. I am representing my principal, DG CEO, Dr. Rufus Ebegba of the National Biosafety Management Agency. He sends his greetings and appreciation to everyone present. And I will be speaking on Ondo Port, roadmap to key business potentials in Ondo State. I've been told to be very brief, and in the actual facts, all we have to say have been said. However, noting
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1, which says, "On the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established," especially when it is said by a neutral person. NBMA is very neutral on this issue. Our mandates have nothing directly to do with the topic under discourse. My principal is from Delta State, and I'm from Edo. So whatever we say is really the weakness for this topic. Okay. Sorry. May I ask a question? Which country owns most of the ports in the world? Which country? That very country is a powerhouse in global trade and the world's largest trading nation. It has more shipping ports at home than any other country, and it has over 100 ports in at least 63 nations. Former British Defense and International Trade Secretary, Dr. Leanne Fox, and former US National Secretary Advisor, Robert M. Fallen, said of that country, China owns 96 ports around the world. Some of these ports are at key locations for maritime trade, giving Belgium strategic dominance without having to deploy a single soldier, ship, or weapon, and Belgium is looking for more. And we are told that China has even indicated its interest in the Ondo port. Benefits of seaports, we all know that already from all the discourse, so let's leave that off. Then some efficient ports. You have the ports of Dubai, you have that of New York, you have London, you have Singapore. And what is common about these ports and these cities? They have dominated economic life across the world for many years. They have developed as capitals of global trade and finance, centers of prosperity and influence. They are ports of contact for people of the world. They are center of intense creative activities and cultural diversity. They are wealthy and contribute enormously to the economic advancement of their countries. Can Ondo be our Dubai? Can Ondo be our New York? Can Ondo be our London? Can Ondo be our Singapore? Benefit of seaports continue. We've gone through all this, but let me just mention that according to Angel Gura, OECD Secretary General at the International Transport Forum, he said, if in European nations, each additional 1 million tons of cargo creates 300 new jobs in the port area in the near term and in all countries. On average, 1 million tons of port cargo is associated with 800 jobs. Can we get these jobs created from these Ondo ports? And in a very lighter mood, so many of our men are eligible to get married, but they're not getting married because there are no jobs. So if the jobs comes, maybe a whole lot of them, we pick also our women. Advantages of ocean freight shipping, you can pass that. Seaports in Nigeria, we all know that, go past that. Ondo Port, a lot has been said about that. Ondo State agricultural resources, it's been taken. Ondo State mineral resources, that has been taken. Benefit of Ondo Seaports, You have direct impact, indirect impact, induced impact, catalytic impact. Direct impact, you talk about port services, transport services, which has been taken. Indirect, port users, import and export. Induced, you talk about economic multipliers and economic opportunities. Economic impact, a whole lot of people have spoken about all that. We talk about employment, we talk about income, employment generation, we talk about driver of productivity growth, etc. Benefits of Ondo ports continues. Seaport activities, we talk about payroll increase, like I just mentioned, business revenue, we talk about tax, indirect job, etc. Now, the main crop. Ondo ports as a roadmap to key business potentials in Nigeria or in the state. What can you do in the port? You can see at the middle there, ports of Ondo. Somebody has talked about a whole lot of logistics, moving goods here and there, jobs creation, a whole lot of industries around the place, shipping, local trade, benefits, national trade, etc. Then you now have them being discussed in depth. Talk about logistics, that has been taken, distribution, warehousing, etc. You have business potentials, like movement of goods here and there, that you are seeing there. Haulage businesses, that we all know about. Urban development, houses are going to come around the ports, close to and far and wide. Just like I said, having to get the port to be like Dubai, Singapore, and other cities. Inland waterway transportation, that has been spoken about. Accommodation around the seaport terminal, people who want to lodge. Barge maintenance and repairs. We'll talk about increased national trade, increased foreign trade. These are all been taken. Somebody has spoken somewhere along the line. Human capital development. Human capital development continues. A whole lot has been said about that. Business potentials. A whole lot has been said about all this. So, as nothing in life is risk-free, despite the enormous benefits and business potentials of Ondo State, there are some concerns, and these may include maritime pollution near the coastal area, noise, traffic congestion, tendency of flood, those situated around and close to the coastal area, illegal shipping of materials into the country, and attraction for bad guys. Where do we come in? The National Biosafety Management Agency is charged with the responsibility of providing regulatory framework, institutional and administrative mechanism for safe measures in the application of modern biotechnology and the use of its products, that is, GMOs, as well as putting in place measures to ensure biosecurity in Nigeria. For effective implementation of this mandate, the NBMA has signed MOU with some MDAs to facilitate collaboration towards safeguarding the health of Nigerians and the integrity of the environment from the illegal shipping of unapproved GMOs and harmful biological agents into the country. At a time in 2017, there was large shipment of unapproved GMO into this country. The custom alerted the NBMA and it was repatriated. Therefore, now that the Ondo port is being discussed to facilitate human, agricultural, and mineral transportations. The Ondo port will undoubtedly bring economic prosperity to the state and the nation at large. The Ondo seaport will play an important role in the sector of sea transportation, export, tourism, and travel. And this is very important for economic development. Therefore, NBMA, in collaboration with the Law Enforcement Agency, will ensure that only approved GMO will be imported into the country via Ondo Port. The Ondo Port will not be a gateway for unintentional and malicious transportation of harmful biological agents, which could cause mayhem to the good people of Nigeria, and in particular, that of Ondo State. When the port eventually comes on board, effectiveness and efficiency must be the watchword. Otherwise, the negative impact will far outweigh the positive impact. Finally, Ondo Port is an opportunity for us all, not only for Ondo. We must key into this opportunity to upgrade Nigeria to our Dubai, Singapore, Belgium, Singapore, etc. Thank you very much for listening.
Mrs. Bello, may I request you to wait a little more? Ladies and gentlemen, if you check your program, the next event is the discussion about the same topic, Ondo as an alternative to Lagos port congestion. The person who should handle this is still on his way, and I believe the next item is question and answer. From all we've listened to, and from that deep and extensive presentation, we do believe that NBMA should be able to have answers to some questions. So if you have questions you want to ask, you may please indicate. We may take as many as 3 questions so that you can answer before we leave this session. Question, you may please indicate by raise of hand. You'll be called to ask your question. Ondo Port as an alternative. Okay, that's I have 1 hand, 2 more. Please, you may please give him a microphone. 2nd hand.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to ask about the provision for railway, if there's any, in the planned Ondo port. Thank you.
Next question. I think you'd like to take them together, right?
Yeah.
Next question, please. Okay, I've got the 3rd one down there.
Probably not a question, but my name is Ben Ariko. I live in Lagos. I'm aware of what's happening in Lagos and the port. But just maybe think about when you say you want an alternative port, even if Ondo puts their budget for the next 10 years in the port, it can't be like Lagos. Please, my advice would be, suggestion would be, not to market it like an alternative port to Lagos, but a complementary port. There are several complementary ports across the country. What you need to do is to show the incentives that you will offer that attracts people out of Lagos to Ondo, but the marketing it like the alternative, the Nigerian port, I think it's a disservice in the long run to Ondo itself. Given the much work you have done on this and the investments I see that is going, I would suggest that we market it as an alternative and as a destination, but not as an alternative, not as an alternative to Lagos, because Lagos is Lagos. Thank you.
Ask a lady at the end of the room.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Mrs. Bayo Aina. I happen to come from Ondo State, especially the coastal area. My own question is, considering all this presentation, how do you put the local content into the system? Because when you are rounding up your presentation, ma'am, you are talking about the bad guys, and we cannot run away from it. They are everywhere, especially when the potentials are high. A lot of foreigners are coming in. I want to ask, how do you go along with human capacity development by bringing in all this local content to help in developing them and let them see the future that is holding for them with this development. Thank you.
We have taken 3. I think let's get answers. Then we may come back if time permits.
Okay. Thank you very much. The Ondo Port, let me start from the last 2, is a project in progress. May I take what you have mentioned as suggestions, and they will be taken into cognizance in the developmental process. I think the first one too is provision of railway, alternative to Lagos. Slide 2 of my presentation, I did mention that China have a lot of ports, a lot, and that is one of the things that has made China what it is. So, your observation is very apt. It is not an alternative to Lagos. Even after the creation of Ondo ports, more ports are still welcome. Yeah, I'm done.
This round, you may just please let him have the microphone. We're going to take 3 more questions after this, 3 more.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Ondo Port project is a nice one, but I want to, like you have said, whatever you're hearing from the floor today is like suggestions that needs to be improved. I don't want us to forget, I'm from the Niger Delta. I don't want us to forget that we have a lot of seaports that are not being active across Nigeria. I don't know what the government of Ondo State is doing with the current night assembly to ensure that politics will not affect the full operative of this port. That's point 1. Point 2, I might be a Delta, but I don't leave the Yoruba land. I turn on those states, Ekiti, Oyo, Oshu, and all that. What is the synergy within these states to make the port more productive for investors to get value for their investment when they eventually come in? That's point 2. Point 3, what do we do about youth restiveness? Because most youth will not see it as a strategy to make money, thereby making activities of those who are supposed to use the port more frustrating than experiencing peace in the environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Bello, I know some of the questions might be outside your purview. I also have got people from Ondo State Investment Organization, ONDIPA, who can answer some of the questions. So, next question, please. Engineer Karakuri, are you here?
Thank you. My name is Fonohomi Idris. My question is, they've been saying everything good about Ondo, and I appreciate that. But there is no figure, an estimate attached to any of their presentation. If you are trying to maximize the value chain of cocoa, you should let us know. We'll be needing $1 billion to actually get the best value chain and added value services. And in the next 5-10 years, that $1 billion will be bringing back $20 billion for investors. So if there are no figure, people will just be is blinking in the dark. Thank you.
Question?
Good day, everybody. My name is Chief Eric Ozongu. Ports can never be too much. If we have an effective and efficient deep sea port in Ondo. It will not just compete with Lagos, it will work side by side with Apapa and Tinkan Island Port in Lagos. Because I have imported things in the past, and I know how cumbersome it is. 6 weeks to 2 months before you can get your goods out of any of these two ports in Lagos. And we have been told that 65% of all the cargoes that come into Lagos finally ends up in Onitsha, Nnewi, and so on and so forth. So if we have a workable port in Ondo, businessmen in Onitsha will prefer to deal with, to clear their goods in the port in Ondo than going the whole stretch of going to Lagos port. Everything is management. Everything is doing things the way they are supposed to be done. We can have 50 ports in Nigeria, and if they are not working well, it is just like nothing. So what I want to chip in right away is that, yes, you can plan for a big port, but management, let it work well. Business will definitely come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may please provide your answers.
Thank you very much. Let me start from the issue of youth restiveness. I think that was my second or third to the last slide, where I did say that if the port is not managed effectively and efficiently, then you give room for bad guys. We also talked about human capital development, and here we are calling on stakeholders to invest in that sector. It is hoped that when stakeholders invest in human capital development, a whole lot of the youth will be taken care of. I did also mention that so many of our young men are not employed, hence they are not even able to do the simple thing they should do, such as getting married. And if programs are properly put on ground to arrest this, it will be taken care of. Somebody mentioned the issue of synergy. This very workshop, seminar, summit that is being organized is part of the synergy. We'll talk about collaboration with various organizations here and there, MDAs. It's all part of synergy. Provision of, sorry, I don't have enough. We talk about quantifying and giving numbers to the presentations. That is certainly beyond me. Maybe those directly involved. Like I said, we are not directly involved. I did say that as weakness, who are not directly involved, then whatever we say, you should believe us. Then finally, what was the other issue? I don't know, maybe I didn't pick that. Then somebody mentioned the issue of ports not too much in Nigeria. It's just like somebody saying universities are too much. Universities are never too much. The important thing is the ones on ground should be effectively and efficiently managed for us to get the benefit therein. I think that is all the questions I can remember. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll allow you to go at this point. We also will welcome some.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Just comment. Yes. You want to okay? You want to respond to her? Okay. Just a comment. Just wait. You make the comment. Because we still have like 5 minutes in this segment. I'm seeing your hand about information. I think that's a very important person who can speak to how far we've traveled, especially questions like what has Ondo done? Do you have numbers? Do you have some preparedness? I will allow Mr. Omomowo to speak to that. What Ondo has done. I know we have got our OBC passed. Could you please provide him with a microphone? After you, Madam will speak. Microphone. Please, microphone.
I am Emmanuel Omomo. I'm the Secretary, Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency. Initially, I wanted to respond to the first question, whether the rail line is part of the design of that project. I want to mention that it is a specialized deep sea port with evacuation of these our minerals in contemplation. And therefore, for you to evacuate minerals to the deep sea, to the site of the deep sea port, trailers and this other thing will not be enough. So, rail line is going to be a complementary mode of transport to evacuate some of this. So, it's part of it. Then, responding to what has Ondo State government done with regard to the development of this project. For over 4 years or 5 years, we have commenced all necessary studies, all necessary surveys, necessary documentation, and the state has also been liaising with the Nigerian Port Authority that has the power to guide and regulate processes leading to approval of a deep sea port. Because when you think of developing or having a deep sea port, you must think of MPA. So there are some studies that cover several seasons, 2-3 years, dry season, wet season, for 2-3 years, 4 years, which the state government had done. We have done the master plan design. We have done the port feasibility. We have carried out all various surveys and surveys and studies that actually show that that particular location, Erona Ogboti, is a best location for the deep sea port. I'm talking of bathymetric, geotechnical, about 30 surveys that we have also done. Then beyond, in doing all this, we have also been liaising with the Nigerian Port Authority that will tell us what next study to do. We have done the outline business case that's going to give us the details of the probable cost of this project. And beyond that, the level we are now is that the Federal Minister of Transportation have also constituted the project delivery steering committee and the project team delivery. So that is the level we are, and trusting God in a short while, we will achieve this. So all that is needed to be done, the state government has fulfilled every one of it. So
thank you.
So the only thing we need is just a federal government approval.
Thank you. I'm wrapping that off. That OPC, about 219 page document, you can get it online. And the environmental and social impact assessment is also available online. It's about 293 page document already done. So if you need more information, please ask ONDIPA. You'll get information. One more comment or two. Someone will speak about community restiveness. Who is from the community is going to speak to that. Madam, please have the floor.
I'm from NDLA. Well, first of all, let me appreciate her presentation. The second speaker, the person who just spoke now, actually answered my area of concern. Because her comparative analysis was that if it happened in China, well, it happened in Singapore, why can't it happen in Nigeria? And some other person from Delta said, look, we have Cocoa Port there, it's dormant. So, but with the last speaker who said they've done a lot, I was like trying to say, okay, if it happened in China, it happened in Singapore, you have to do an in-depth research to see why is it going on well. Then in that case, then yours will go well. So he just answered that they've done a lot of research. So that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A question from online says, I'm from Ondo State, so I'm interested in this project. I live in the diaspora. So what is the main plan to keep investors updated about how the investment is progressing, as we won't be there to see it being built? How will this investment be protected against changes in political will and leadership? I think answer to that can be obtained from ONDIPA. If you just go online, type ONDIPA, you're going to get all answers to questions regarding safety of investment in the state. The last will be coming from the representative of Olugbo of Ugbo, who would like to speak about community restiveness. How are we going to have a port, and how is the community in Ilaje and areas could support? Ms. Adeyemi, please. Could you please avail us this microphone?
May I stand on the existing protocol? My name is Otumba Adeyemi Edigan. I am the personal secretary to His Imperial Majesty, Oba Dr. Frederick Eniti Olorunda Obatera Akinroton, Commander of the Order of the Niger. There's a question that caught my attention, and just as Engineer Omomo had said, the port at Erono Igboti is actually in our domain. I make bold to say that Ondo State is the most peaceful part of the Niger Delta region of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That was why the issue of restiveness caught my attention. And based on the antecedents of the oil prospecting companies and how they have been given a very good working environment in Ilaje local government under His Imperial Majesty, I do not see, and I make bold to say once again, that there will not be any issues of restiveness of youth. And just as we have been adjudged as the most peaceful part of the Niger Delta from 2014, from Erono, from Oroye down to Abetobo, because we occupy the entire stretch of the coastal region of Ondo State. We are the most peaceful part of Ondo State, of the Niger Delta region of Nigeria. And an example, when the NSAS protest engulfed the entire country, you can go, it is on record that there was no single stone that was picked up in Ilaje. We are that peaceful. So I want to encourage all Nigerians in the diaspora to believe not just in this project in the seaport. It is not an alternative, so to speak, but it is the index for Nigeria's next socio-economic capital offshoot. Please believe in Ondo State deep seaport, and let's do our best to see it work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That pretty brings us to the end of this segment. I would like to call on the Secretary of NIDCOM, Engineer Dr. Sule Yakubu Basi, to come and make some closing remarks. After those remarks, we're going to be calling some people to provide a kind of update about how this session today has fared. Engineer Sule Yakubu Basi. Closing comments, yes. Thank you. Please, let's jam our hands together as we... Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's well when things end well. On behalf of the Chairman, CEO of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabri, I just have these few remarks. Once again, to thank the Ondo State government for partnering with NIDCOM and the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit initiative to have this particular special session. As I was told to you yesterday, one of the issues in engaging with our diaspora is to try and cascade diaspora engagements to the states and the local government areas. Every Nigerian you find in the diaspora comes from a state and also comes from a local government. And that filial bond is very strong and very easy to market when you are dealing with the diaspora. We've had examples over the years of our Nigerians in the diaspora engaging with their local communities in agriculture, in rebuilding primary schools, in primary health care, in developing roads, in providing boreholes for water. We've had examples in Ogun State of some diaspora people providing public toilets in motor parks and public places. And we thank Ondo State for taking the gamut and for partnering with NIDCOM at this particular summit. And we take the suggestions of the special advisor to the Ekiti State government that maybe in a year or two, this summit will feature Ekiti State, and we look forward to dealing with more states. Of course, at a summit like this, we cannot exhaust all the issues, but I can guarantee you that Ondo State has been working full steam on the Ondo Deep Sea Port, and we are happy with what we have had during this particular session. I am a very optimistic person, and sometimes, like my pastor said, it's like you are preaching to the converted. How I wish we are already launching the port, and I look forward to when we can all invite each one of you to launch the deep sea port. I cautioned the MC when the narrative was like looking at Lagos and comparing it with the Ondo port. And I thank our sister who brought out some of the statistics. China has over 96 ports. And the more you have, the merrier, because you have things to export, things to import, and it facilitates trade and growth. It creates jobs for the youths, and there are several advantages of our ports. I thank our brother from the Niger Delta who particularly brought a question. We didn't quite dwell too much on it. That is, we have some other ports in Nigeria that are functioning at below capacity. I think maybe one of the things the rapporteurs should capture is the need for us to find out why those ports are performing at below par and find out solutions to how we can invigorate them and get them to function optimally. Our brother who talked about importing things, if you have had any experience with the port, it's quite frustrating. I've had one experience with a port where my goods came, and it took like 3 weeks to just clear household effects. And if that is what it is for household effects, you can imagine what it is for industrialists and people who need things in order to produce and ginger our economy. I don't think having an additional port in Ondo is too much. So I thank you very much for the attention, the attentiveness. I thank our presenters and the moderators, and particularly for those who stood in for their CEOs. We are most grateful for this particular time. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bassi. Lunch will be served in about 5 minutes, and the spot is just behind you. Everyone, no VIP this time around, so everyone just find your way to the back of the stage, and you will have lunch. At this point, we want to just take feedback from some individuals to come and tell us if this program has met their expectations, if they've derived any benefits, and if they have suggestions they want to make. The first I would like to call is Mr. Ayola of Afro-Euro Investment. Please step forward and tell us, microphone please, what your experience has been, and then let these other people prepare. Odiakosa, Offshore Impact, just get ready. Novet Oil Palm, Brain Training, please just be ready. I'll call you after him. Just 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, I stand on existing established protocol. My name is Ayola Adekunle. I came from Poland to attend this year's summit. I will say, and I will read from what I scribbled down here. Dear diasporans, because my area of interest and also area which I want people to really know much about this summit are my brothers, especially those who are still in doubt about Nigeria. If you are not here, you are missing in action, because this is where it is happening, where we are giving hope for a greater Nigeria. I'm calling on diaspora because I know that we have a lot of us watching across the globe. Come back home. Let us grow and produce what we eat, what we sell, and what we're going to export to earn forests for our country. I am a living witness, and this is my 5th year of attending this summit, and I'm a living testimony. And I look forward, because yesterday I made a presentation on advocacy for bilateral agreement, which we have been looking forward to for a very long time, that will enable Nigeria to export vegetables, fruits, and food to Poland without restriction. And we're going to work on it. And I can say that by this time next year, by the special grace of God, we'll be able to give another testimony to tell the whole world that Nigeria is ready for international market. Thank you.
The next is Odiakosa of Shores Impact.
Shores Impact, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Barrister Okeze asked me to speak about my experience. Last year was my first time here. And from here, I got the opportunity to go to Dubai, like you mentioned earlier. The NDSI group has been a wonderful one. Honestly, I haven't found a group of more patient people, so loving and caring. Like, you could reach out to Dr. Badewa or any member of the executive team at any time, and they respond within 15 minutes. And they opened up so many doors of partnerships for me, not just in Dubai. They also helped to, in partnership with the Africa Chamber of Digital Commerce, helped to expedite my visa for the US, participation in Minneapolis as well. Came back about a month ago. that was my first meeting with Dr. Brooks. So when you saw that presentation, where you saw the picture with him, that was actually towards the end of the few days that we spent there. And honestly, it's been wonderful. So for those of you who are considering pitching, even if you are shy, you know, you haven't thought about it before, I would ask you to consider it maybe for next year, because they actually spent weeks leading to this event to actually brush up pitches with us. And they spent all the time, like we would set 1 hour meetings that would extend to 3 hours and nobody would complain. Like they help each person to develop the best version of themselves to come and present to you. And they open up doors to so many investors across the world. Dr. Badewa is very quiet, but she has so many connections, not just in Nigeria, in US as well, in the Middle East as well, in Dubai as well. Like, they're just a wonderful team. So for me, it has been a wonderful experience. And I hope we have more and more investors coming in as the years keep coming. Thank you so much.
Novert oil palm. Non-it, okay? Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Last year was actually our first year here. And after that first year, I got over 100 people inquiring about what we are doing. And we got investment worth over 55 million. I never thought that it would be as, you know, juicy as we had it. And we pitched yesterday. We have already started getting inquiries. So what I'm saying in effect is that there's a lot you can gain being part and parcel of this thing we are doing here. Being an oil palm expert, and we have been talking about Ondo State. Let me just chip in this. Ondo State have a lot of comparative and competitive advantage in oil palm production. I know there's big plantations in Ukutupupa. Correct me if I'm wrong. The problem you have there is that most of the palm trees there you have, they have outgrown their usefulness. Like some of us, excuse me, we get our seedlings from Malaysia, though we were told that Malaysia came here and took some of them, and they are putting a lot of technology. They have palm that can start fruiting in 2 years, and they fruit up to 32 palm heads, fresh fruit bunches. Most of the ones we have in Ondo State, we need to cut them down and plant newer seedlings. There is nothing, you will make a lot of money, even better than other solid minerals that you have. You make more money in palm than any of these things you are talking about. Palm oil is the next crude oil. If we harness it, develop it very well, I know federal government will be coming to take loan from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I have just 2 more. And the next is brain training. Brain training. Mr. Femi Odere should get ready.
Let me stand on the existing protocols and say that my name is Ben Arikwo. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Brain Training and Development Center. This is my first year, and I was invited almost 3 days to this closing of the pitching. One of the things I found quite useful was that even as late as I joined, the planning team for the pitchers was very well organized. The support I got from them, you could see the outcome on that video that I posted. I don't like videos, but when they sent links of the Dragon Den and say, watch them, I watched Dragon Den, I went on, took my camera, took my phone, just stood and did the video, and I did it just twice, and I got that cut you saw. So I want to thank the organizers, except that they say that there's nothing that is perfect in life. Otherwise, I would have said the organization, the pre-conference organization, The conference execution and the post-conference is actually flawless. I'm actually impressed. And I'm not just saying this to rub their backs. I'm a very critical person. So if I say that, I mean it. Because I pitched only this year, I have told myself that I'm going to mark my calendar. This is going to be one of the key activities in my annual planning, that I'll come again, not just as a pitcher, but as a sponsor. Because I've had several ideas about things we can do. I also want to please encourage those who pitched and never had anybody ask you a question. It doesn't end here. There's a post-conference contacts that you should expect. One of the things I do know for sure is that even when they post the outcome of the conference on their website, there is a whole lot of millions of people who are going to the website and they'll come across you. Finally, when I met Oluchi finally, I think she's the star of this whole thing. Oluchi is a star. I'd like us to just give an applause to appreciate her, even if she's not here. She never complained about all the pressures we are putting on her. Until yesterday when I saw her, I can understand why she never complained. So thank you, Oluchi. Thank you, the team. Thank you, the team, for the visuals there. It's quite difficult. I've done this type of conference before. Sometimes it's quite difficult to synchronize the PowerPoints with the person who is staying there to find the videos. You all are just wonderful. It's been a wonderful session. We thank God, and I think when we come back next year, we will learn from the feedback that we get. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Odere. Mr. Odere, Femi Odere.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. The name is actually Odere. I also want to stand on a system protocol, and I happen to be the former senior special assistant to the former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, on diaspora affair. And during that time too, I was also the chairman of all the diaspora focal point officers, and we do have about 33 to 34, if I'm not mistaken, of diaspora focal point officers across the state. And before I give my own speech on behalf of my colleagues, I want to have them to be recognized. And I think there's about a handful of us left right now, starting from the special advisor to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mrs. Sarah Ario. Could you please then stand up to be recognized? Mrs. Ario is, like I said, the special advisor to the federal, to the minister. Next, if I can see him, well, is that Dr. Matthew Okeim. Dr. Okeim is the special advisor to the governor of Cross River State on diaspora affairs. And then next to him is Mr. Moses Maikoro. Mr. Moses, can you stand up to be recognized? He is also the special advisor to the governor of Taraba State. And last but not the least is Dr. Genevieve. Dr. Genevieve is also the special advisor to the governor of Delta State on diaspora affairs. It is important that we've been here actually for these past 4 years, and this year, of course, is no exception. And we consider ourselves as those frontline soldiers when it comes to Nigerians in diaspora. Like the secretary mentioned, and I've also been saying that yes, we have Nigerians in diaspora, no doubt, but Nigerians belong first and foremost to a state before they are called Nigerians. So we see our jobs actually as those frontliners of diaspora, of Nigerians. And what this has meant for us as a body, quite frankly, is that we are not only proud of our portfolios, and let me also say thanks to Madam Chairman and CEO of Nigerians in diaspora, Honorable Mrs. Adabidi, who has been very relentless in convincing the governors who are otherwise not too keen about diaspora to see the benefit of Nigerians in diaspora from their respective states. And it has been the effort of Madam Chairman that we have this many diasporas across the country at this point. And what that means too is that it makes our job to be much more interesting. The Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit actually created a lot of opportunity, and it has also opened our eyes to what it is that we need to do more to attract our diasporas. And there's no doubt in my mind that a lot of us are going to go from here and work some more in trying to drive the diasporas into their respective states, and also trying to take what we've learned from here to do policy formulations and suggestions as to how to make our jobs a lot much better. So on that note, I want to once again thank Dr. Badewa for our own relentlessness, our own dedication to making sure that this thing that started about 5 years ago continue. And there's no doubt that eventually Nigeria as a whole is going to be the better for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We thank you for your valued feedback. And for those who like to have more information about Ondo State and investment opportunity, the website is ondipa.org. ondipa.org. Thank you very much. Let's go for lunch now. I'll be coming back later. Thank you.